What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. Today, I am doing my 2022 NASCAR Cup Series winner predictions. This will include the Busch Clash pick from the LA Coliseum, the All-Star Race pick from the All-Star Race at Texas Motor Speedway, and also tell you who I think will be the champion in 2022 as well at the same time. So let's jump first into the Busch Clash. It is going to be moving from Daytona National Speedway, from the Daytona Road Course to be exact, all the way over to the LA Coliseum. Like I said, we're going to be going on a short track for the first time, and the first time we're not at the Daytona International Speedway for the Busch Clash since its inception in 1979. My winner's pick for this one is actually going to be very, very good, and a driver that's also really good on short tracks. My winner's pick is going to be Chase Elliott, especially since I think this race should be on Fox. Hopefully they do put this on Fox. I think with the major audience and with the most popular driver kicking off at a track of the LA Coliseum, I think he makes a lot of sense. Chase Elliott is going to be my winner's pick for the Los Angeles Coliseum race. The next race we're going to talk about, the Daytona 500. I think Daytona 500, a lot of drivers have had up for consideration to win this next year's Daytona 500. But I think that there is one driver that I have in particular that I think is going to win the Daytona 500 in 2022. And this guy has been superb at super speedway tracks over the last couple years. As a matter of fact, he won the 2021 Daytona race that just happened a couple weeks ago. My winner for the 2022 Daytona 500 is finally going to get it done. I think that Ryan Blaney is going to win the 2022 Daytona 500. I think Ryan Blaney has been really, really close to winning Daytona 500 the last couple years. In 2017, he was up front contending for the 500 before I believe he ran out of gas in the last lap of the Daytona 500. He had a top 2 or top 3 run going, had a huge speed at the end, but never had a chance to catch up to Kurt Busch at the end of the race. In 2018, he dominated the event, pretty much had the dominant car in that race before technically almost getting taken out of the event. Got involved in a wreck with around 2 or 3 laps to go in the race. And then in 2020 was in a nail-biting finish between Denny Hamlin for that 500. I think he finally gets redemption. I think that Ryan Blaney finally is going to get his first Daytona 500 win ever and be the first regular season winner of the year and lock his way into the playoffs early. Next race is Auto Club, and we're heading back to Auto Club Speedway for the first time since 2020, and the final time we're going to be on a 2-mile configuration, as after 2022, they're going to be moving it to a half-mile track. I think that this race is going to be won by a driver who's won at this track quite a few times. I think once or twice. He won this event back in 2018 in pretty much dominating fashion. I think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to win the race at Auto Club Speedway. Martin Truex Jr. has been really, really fast at Auto Club historically. In 2017, he finished up front, had one of the best cars in the 2017 showing in this event, had a lot of speed also in the 2018 event. Like I mentioned, he won that event. And in 2020, had a top 5 car. In 2020, he had a very, very fast car in that event. I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to have a lot of speed. I think Joe Gibbs Racing will give a lot of speed to Martin Truex Jr., and I think he will win the race at Auto Club. After Auto Club, we're headed to Las Vegas for the first of 2 times this season, and I think that at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we're going to see a familiar driver win. We're going to see a new manufacturer start dominating at this track. The last time he ran in Las Vegas in the spring of 2021, Kyle Larson is able to win that event, and I think in 2022, Kyle Larson is once again going to win his first race of 2022 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yes, there's going to be a new package on the car similar to what we have at Auto Club Super Speedway or Auto Club Speedway. But I think that Kyle Larson is going to win this event. Kyle Larson has been really, really good on the mile-and-a-half tracks. I don't expect Hendrick Motorsports to lose that speed going in the next year. I think that they're going to be one of the first teams to really figure out this next-gen car. And I think that Kyle Larson will pick up his first of many wins of the 2022 season at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Right after Las Vegas, we're headed to Phoenix, Arizona for the Phoenix race, a 312-lap race at Phoenix International Speedway. And I think that a familiar face is going to pick up the win at Phoenix Speedway. I think the guy who won the spring race in 2020, Joey Logano, is going to win the race once again at Phoenix, get his second ever win at Phoenix Speedway. Joey Logano has been really, really fast at that track historically, not to mention Team Penske in 2021, and even last year in 2020, showed a ton of speed at this track. And I think that Joey Logano will get his first win of the 2021 season. I think his only win of the 2021 season, 22 season at Phoenix Speedway. Right after Phoenix, we're heading back a little bit more to the southeast of the country, out to Georgia, to Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I think that Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to go to a familiar face. This driver had struggled in the 2021 season. However, I think this team, that being Stewart-Haas Racing, is really going to get their stuff together by this point in 2022. And I think that Kevin Harvick on the new Atlanta configuration, where it's basically going to be like a super, they're going to try to have it race like a super speedway. I think that Kevin Harvick is going to win his first race of the 2022 season. I think Kevin Harvick is going to get his mojo back. I think Stewart-Haas Racing in general is going to get their mojo back. And I think that Kevin Harvick will get his first of a couple wins of the 2022 season at Atlanta. I just think Kevin Harvick has been really strong at this track the last couple times. Yes, it's going to be different than previous times at Atlanta Motor Speedway where it's been worn out. That being said, though, I think that Kevin Harvick will pick up his first win in the 5th race of the 2022 season. After Atlanta, we're going to Circuit Americas, which Circuit Americas, by the way, is moving from all the way into May, which is a week for the Coke 600 in 2021. It is moving to late March due to weather concerns back in last year. This race, I think, is going to be a very, very simplistic pick. This guy's been extremely strong at road courses. I think that Chase Elliott is going to win the Cup Series race at Circuit of the Americas. Chase Elliott's been one of the best drivers when it comes to road course, and he won the last time we were at Circuit of the Americas. Of course, rain did affect him, and if not for rain affecting him, I don't think he would have won the race. But that being said, I think that this team is going to show up with a lot of speed and a lot of pace, and I think that Chase Elliott will get his first points-paying victory of the 2020 season. His second win if you include the Busch Clash, but I think that Chase Elliott is going to win the Cup Series race at Circuit of the Americas. Right after Circuit of the Americas, we're going to be heading up to Virginia for the race at Richmond, Virginia, at Richmond International Raceway, and I think that this pick is going to be very simplistic. This driver has been one of the best at this track over the last couple of years. My winner's pick for Richmond in 2022 is going to be Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has dominated the last couple of times he's been in Richmond, but he's come up short and dry of winning those events. I think he's finally going to get redemption in 2022, and I think that Denny Hamlin will cross the finish line first, and he will get his first win of the 2020 season at race number 7 at Richmond Speedway. I think Denny Hamlin is going to get it done at Richmond. Right after Richmond, we're heading down to Martinsville. We're going to still be in the same state of Virginia, but we're going to be heading to Martinsville Speedway. And this driver has completely dominated Martinsville over the last couple of years. This guy has come super, super close to winning. My pick to win Martinsville is going to be Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. has won 3 of the last 4 races at Martinsville. It could be 4 of the last 5 if he's able to win the fall race at Martinsville and get that one done. He's been extremely dominant at this track the last couple times he's been here. It's been basically become his playground over the last 2 years. I think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to pick up his second win of the 2021 season and actually become the first driver to win 2 races in 2022 at Martinsville. I think Martin Truex Jr. is going to get it done at Martinsville. Right after that, we're going to be headed to Bristol Dirt, which is going to be, not to mention, take place on Easter, which this will be the first time since that a NASCAR Cup Series event is going to be taking place on Easter since 1989, so nearly 32 or 33 years since the last time a NASCAR Cup Series race has taken place on Easter. I think that the driver that is going to win this race is finally going to get redemption. This guy had arguably the fastest car, but had to start at the rear and nearly an early portion of the race. This driver got involved in a wreck with the other favorite early in the race, Christopher Bell, but I don't think that happens this time. I think on Easter Sunday evening, I think that Kyle Larson is going to pick up his second victory of the 2022 season at Bristol Dirt. If it wasn't for the fact that he started at the rear and got involved in that wreck early, I think that Kyle Larson, in all seriousness, would have come across the finish line first at Bristol Dirt. So I think that Kyle Larson gets redemption, and I think that he gets the second win of the 2022 season at Bristol Dirt. I think gets second win of the year and gets redemption after last year's debacle at the end of the event. Right after Bristol Dirt, we're going to be heading back down south to Talladega, Alabama for the second Super Speedway race of the 2022 season. And I'm going to be going a little bit bold with this one at Talladega Super Speedway. My winner's pick is going to a new organization next year, and he's going to have a little bit of growing pains at the beginning of the year. But this manufacturer and these engines tend to run really well, especially for one organization, Roush Yates Engines. And that name Roush is going to come into play. I think at Talladega Super Speedway, I think that Brad Keselowski is going to get either his 6th or 7th career Talladega Super Speedway win, his first ever Roush. I think Brad Keselowski is going to win Talladega. I think especially with how good the Roush Fenway Racing has been, especially at these Super Speedway tracks. Look, Chris Buescher for his disqualification of Ryan Newman during that record, ended up finishing 3rd or 4th in that event. I think that Roush is going to bring a lot to the table. They've been extraordinarily really fast at the super speedways. I think they're going to be competitive in the Daytona 500. And like I said, I think Brad Keselowski is going to have some growing pains during the early portions of the 2022 season. But I think Brad Keselowski is going to pick up his first and only win of the 2021 season, at Talladega Super Speedway. Right after that, we're going to be headed out to Dover International Speedway the week after that for the first and only time on the season. And I think that this guy is going to go back-to-back in 2022. This guy got kind of lucky in 2021 with some basically pit road and being very difficult to pass. Had a fantastic pit stop in the number 48 camp. I think that Alex Bowman is going to pick up his first and only win of the 2022 season at Dover International Speedway. Alex Bowman's been really good at a track like Dover for a long time throughout his entire career, and I think that Alex Bowman will pick up his first and only win of the 2020 season at Dover. I think he gets it done. Right after Dover, we'll be headed to Darlington International Raceway for the first of 2 races there, and on Mother's Day weekend as well. And I've been thinking about this one for a little bit. I had a couple of drivers I was considering picking up the win here at Darlington, but I'm going to be going pretty simplistic with this one. I think that this guy has already won a couple times at this point in 2022, is going to pick up another victory. I think that Kyle Larson, after having one of the best cars the last couple of years at this track, I think Kyle Larson is going to finally, and I'm going to mean finally, is going to get his first win at Darlington Raceway. Kyle Larson and Darlington have had kind of a bad history against each other, but Kyle Larson has been really good at that track, and he's come so close to winning races there. You look back this year in 2020, finished 2nd in the race to Martin Truex Jr., and he almost won that and almost beat Martin Truex Jr. after he dominated that one. And he also in 2021 almost won with a video game move against Denny Hamlin and dominated that one. I think the luck is going to finally come to Kyle Larson at Darlington, and I think that Kyle Larson is going to pick up the victory at Darlington International Raceway. I think Kyle Larson is going to get it done, get his 3rd win of the 2022 season. Right after Darlington is going to be Kansas Speedway, which is going to take place on May 15th. And I'm honestly going to go a little bit bold with this one this time. My pick has been extremely underrated at a track like Kansas Speedway. Has ran in top 10 quite a few times, and the highlight is probably going to come in. Yes, like I said, we have a new car, so we really haven't been able to see this car race at certain points. But I think that this driver is going to pick up his only win of the 2022 season, and he's going to be the first of a couple of drivers to win their first career races in 2022. I think that Tyler Reddick is going to finally, in his 3rd full-time season, be the final driver of the Big 3 from the Xfinity Series that raced in 2019. I think that Tyler Reddick finally picks up his first win at Kansas. Like I said, Tyler Reddick has been extremely strong historically at a track like Kansas Speedway, has had a ton of speed at that track specifically, and I think that Tyler Reddick is finally going to get his first win of his NASCAR Cup Series career at Kansas Speedway. Right after Kansas Speedway, we're headed back to Texas Motor Speedway for the 2nd year of the NASCAR All-Star Race. This race also has a move from middle of June all the way to earlier in the year, week before the Coke 600. And this pick is going to be very simplistic. This guy has won 2 of the last 3 All-Star races here, and I think the package is probably going to be very similar to what we saw this time, in 2020 with the All-Star Race. I think that Kyle Larson is going to get his 3rd win in the All-Star Race in the last 4 years. Like I mentioned, Kyle Larson has been really strong on the mile-and-a-half tracks. Not to mention, he's won 2 of the last 3 races, and actually the last 2 he's entered. So I think Kyle Larson for himself is going to go 3 in a row. And I think that we're going to see Hendrick go 4 in a row. Hendrick get 3 in a row in the All-Star Race. I think Kyle Larson gets it done at the All-Star Race. Right after the All-Star Race, we're going to be heading to Charlotte for the annual Coca-Cola 600 on Memorial Day weekend. Now, last time we ran at Charlotte on the mile-and-a-half track, we saw Hendrick Motorsports pretty much dominate the event, with 4 of their cars finishing in the top 5. But this time, I think that Hendrick Motorsports is not going to win the Coca-Cola 600. Instead, I think that after a long time of waiting, I think that Kyle Busch finally, at race number 14, is going to pick up his 2nd ever Coca-Cola 600 victory, and I think he's going to win his first race of the 2022 season here at the Coca-Cola 600. Kyle Busch, like I mentioned, was the best driver, but had the best car of all the cars that were not Hendrick cars at that point. He was really strong at that event, and at points was challenging the Hendrick cars even for the lead, the only one that really could do it. And I don't think Hendrick Motorsports is going to be as good at this point as they were last year, and I think that Kyle Busch is going to figure it out, and I think Kyle Busch is finally going to pick up his first win of the 2022 season at the Coqueluche 600. I think Kyle Busch gets it done. Right after the Coqueluche 600, we're going to be heading to a new track, one of the only two new tracks on the schedule, and the only new track that's on the regular season schedule at Gateway Worldwide Technology Race. So we're going to be heading out to the St. Louis area for the first time in the Cup Series. I think that this guy, like I said, has been... Now, I think that what's going to matter is you're going to have experience coming in this event, but the last time this driver had experience, it really didn't matter because he put up a dominating clinic. And I think that almost is going to happen again at Worldwide Technology Raceway. I think that Kyle Larson, and I'm going a little bit bold with him, but I think that Kyle Larson, unlike some drivers who people think are going to win, the guys that have experience at this track, I think experience is not going to matter, especially with the new car. And I think that Kyle Larson is going to win the race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Like I said, Kyle Larson has had a knack when he would go to new racetracks for him to be really, really fast and one of the first drivers that really can get used to it. I think that Kyle Larson is going to pick up his fourth points-paying win of a 2022 season and gets it done at Worldwide Technology Raceway in St. Louis, which I'll be at, by the way, and I think that Kyle Larson gets it done there. Right after Worldwide Technology Raceway, we're going to be hanging back west for the Cup Series race at Sonoma. And this pick is going to be very, very simple. This guy has actually won this race a couple times, won this race in 2018 and won this race in 2019 on the new configuration. Last time we ran here at Sonoma, he had a top 5 car, did not have the best car in the event, but had a very, very extremely strong car. I think at this time around, though, he's going to get redemption, and I think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to pick up his third win of a 2022 season at Sonoma Raceway. This is already be Martin Truex Jr.'s best road course track on the circuit. I think that he's going to get that redemption, and I think that Martin Truex Jr. is going to win the Cup Series race at Sonoma in 2022. Right after Sonoma, we're going to be heading back out to Nashville Superspeedway in Lebanon, Tennessee to start also off the NBC calendar. Remember, there's a 1-week break after Sonoma, and then we're going to head back to Nashville Superspeedway. And I think that unlike last time where we saw Kyle Larson put up a dominating clinic, we're going to have the guy who arguably had the second or third best car until he had problems late. I think that Kyle Busch is going to win his second race of the 2022 season, and it's going to take place at Nashville Superspeedway. Last year, I picked Kyle Busch to win the 2021 version of the race at Nashville Superspeedway. Little did I know that I did not expect Kyle Larson to be as dominant as he was in 2021. But I think that Kyle Busch this time will have to battle against guys like Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson overall for the dub in the victory. But I think that Kyle Busch is going to win the Cup Series race at Nashville in 2022. Right after Nashville, we're going to head back up north to Road America in Wisconsin, up to the area of Elkhart Lake. And I think that we're going to see a guy that won the last year at Elkhart Lake. I think Chase Elliott is going to finally pick up his second points-paying race of a 2020 season. Again, Chase Elliott has had a big knack for winning on road courses and won the last time we ran on the 4th of July weekend. And I think that Chase Elliott gets it done. Like I said, Chase Elliott has historically been really good on the road course tracks. And I think that Chase Elliott will get his second win of the 2022 season here at this track. I think Chase Elliott gets it done at Road America. Right after Road America, we're going to be heading back to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the second time. And I think that Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to go to a familiar face. I think that we're going to see the 5 car, that being of Kyle Larson, pick up the dub. Kyle Larson is going to come close to winning the first race. He's going to finally break through and get finally that first win at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kyle Larson has been historically really good at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I think that unlike last time we ran Atlanta Motor Speedway in the first race there, I don't think Kevin Harvick is going to be as good. I think that Kyle Larson is going to pick up his 5th, I believe this will be his 5th win of the 2022 season at the track. I think Kyle Larson gets it done at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Right after Atlanta Motor Speedway, we're going to be heading up to New Hampshire, up to the New England area for the race at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. And I think that we're going to see Ford dominate the race once again. And like I said, I've talked about this guy once or twice so far in the season. I think that this race is going to go to a driver who's won this race a couple times at New Hampshire. I am going to pick Kevin Harvick to win this race at New Hampshire. Stewart-Haas Racing showed a lot of speed in the 2021 showing, and I think, like I said, SHR is going to be back in some ways going into 2022. I think that Kevin Harvick is going to win the Cup Series race at New Hampshire in the 2022 season. Right after New Hampshire, we're going to be heading up we'll actually head a little bit more south, I think, down to the Pocono Mountains for the first and only time at Pocono International Raceway. And I think that Pocono is going to end up being Hendrick's playground. I think Hendrick is going to dominate that event. But I think at the end of the day, I think that William Byron is going to get redemption after last year after Fuelmage kind of cost him overall an opportunity to win. I think William Byron is going to pick up his first and only win of the 2022 season at that race at Pocono. William Byron came very, very close to winning the race in 2021. Unfortunately, fuel kind of cost him at the end of the day. But I think that he's finally going to get redemption, and I think that William Byron is going to pick up his first win and only win of 2022 at Pocono. Right after Pocono, we're going to get back to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the second time on the configuration of the Indianapolis road course. Now, the Indy road course last time we ran there was won, I believe, by A.J. Allmendinger, and I expect him to be also running that event as well. But I'm not picking A.J. Allmendinger to winning this event. I am picking, though, a driver that has been really, really good on road course, especially in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And he's finally going to be going full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series in 2022. I think that this Indy road course race, the guy who won the 2021 Xfinity Series race, is going to get it done. I think that Austin Cindric is going to break through and win his first Cup Series race at the Indianapolis road course. I think Austin Cindric is a very, very awesome road course ringer. I think he's going to be one of the biggest threats. I think you're going to have 4 or 5 guys that are going to be really strong. You're going to have guys like Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Austin Cindric, and maybe A.J. Allmendinger, who probably be the main contenders in this event at the Indianapolis road course. But I think Austin Cindric for Team Penske is going to have a very consistent year, have a very surprisingly good year in 2022 consistency-wise. He is going to be the final Team Penske driver to win, and I think that this race goes to Austin Cindric. I think he gets it done at the Indianapolis road course and finally breaks through. Right after the Indianapolis road course, we're going to be going up a little bit more north, up to the Michigan area for the I believe this will be round number 23 on the Cup Series schedule. This will be round number 23 of the main races on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule. And I think that the guy that won the last time at Michigan International Raceway, that being Ryan Blaney, is going to once again go back to victory lane and get a second straight win at Michigan Speedway, and will get his second win of the 2022 season. Ryan Blaney's been historically really good in Michigan. If you even look back at some of his older races, he's been historically really, really strong at the track. Has a couple top 5s there and has a couple top 10s there as well. And was able to kind of steal a victory. But unlike the last time where he stole the victory in 2021, I think in 2022, I think Ryan Blaney is going to pick up the win. And I think he will get a defending win here and become the new king of Michigan. I think he gets it done at Michigan International Raceway. Right after Richmond, Michigan, we're going to be actually headed back once again to Richmond Raceway. Now, Richmond Raceway, for the first time since 2016 or 2017, will not be in the NASCAR Cup Series Plaza as moved out, and will move to a little bit earlier in the year. Will be in August on a Sunday afternoon. And I think Richmond is going to be a sweep for one driver only. I think that Denny Hamlin is going to sweep the races at Richmond Raceway. Denny Hamlin, like I said, has been really, really good at the track. Denny Hamlin, once again, is going to have a very consistent year, just like he had in 2021. But I think that Denny Hamlin is going to take a time to start winning a few more races down the road. But I think that Denny Hamlin is going to get his second win of the 2022 season at Richmond, and he'll dominate the race and sweep the races at Richmond in 2022. Right after that, we're going to be heading to Watkins Glen for round number 25 on the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series season. And I think that this driver, once again, will win another road course race. The guy who's been basically called the new king of road courses. I think that Watkins Glen is going to finally, he will get redemption after almost winning the race in 2020, almost beating Kyle Larson in that event. I think that Chase Elliott is going to break through and get his third win of the 2022 season. I think Chase Elliott has become the king of this track. Watkins Glen has been really, really strong there. And I think Chase Elliott will get his third win in the last 4 races at Watkins Glen. I think he gets it done at the Glen in 2022. Right after Watkins Glen, we're going to be heading to the final race for the regular season at Daytona International Raceway. And you're going to have some guys that are probably going to be on the verge of trying to look their way in to the NASCAR Cup Series Plus. However, I think that we're going to see a familiar face pick up the victory at Daytona. I think that Ryan Blaney is going to sweep the races at Daytona, and Ryan Blaney is going to get his third and final win of the 2022 season at Daytona International Speedway. Ryan Blaney, I think, right now is potentially one of the best super speedway racers out there, and I think that Ryan Blaney will sweep the race at Daytona and finally overcome a sweep both races at Daytona. We'll actually go 3 in a row at Daytona because I think Ryan Blaney sweeps the races at Daytona. So after Daytona, we have all the playoff races we're going to look at, and we'll now take a look at all the playoff races and go over those. Let's go ahead and jump into all the playoff races. So let's first start off with the round of 16. In the round of 16, there has been some changes this time around. You have Darlington once again is going to be kicking off for the Southern 500, which will be the first race of the round of 16. Right after that, there's been a change. Kansas has moved from the round of 8, which would take place in October, and it's been moved all the way up to September 11th on a Sunday afternoon. And after Kansas, we'll go to Bristol once again for the cutoff race. So there's some changes in the round of 16. Let's now pick Darlington Raceway to kick off the Southern 500. And I think that the guy that won the race last time we were at Darlington, that being Denny Hamlin a couple weeks ago, I think that Denny Hamlin is going to once again go back-to-back in the Southern 500. I think Denny Hamlin will get his 4th official Southern 500 victory. Denny Hamlin had a very strong car in the Southern 500 in 2021, and he's been really, really good at Darlington throughout his entire career. I think that Denny Hamlin is going to win the opening round of the playoffs and will lock his way into the round of 12. Right after Darlington, we're going to be heading out to Kansas International Raceway. In Kansas, in 2021, this guy pretty much had dominating race before issues came up late in the event, and this guy will continue his domination. I think that this 5 team is really going to team up and really begin to really gel at this point. I think that Kyle Larson is going to show his stuff at Kansas, and he's going to pick up his whopping, I think this will be his whopping 6th or 7th victory of a 2022 season. I think Kyle Larson is going to get it done. He's going to show a lot of speed, and I think that Kyle Larson is going to win the race at Kansas Speedway in pretty dominating fashion. And now let's jump to Bristol, the cutoff race for the round of 16. Now, originally, I had Kyle Busch as my original pick for this event at Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm going to go a little bit bold with this one. This guy at this point will not have one, but he will be extremely consistent up to this point. My winner's pick going into the race at Bristol Motor Speedway, I am going to pick Christopher Bell to win the race at Bristol. Now, Christopher Bell, the reason I have him winning this one is because I think that 20 car has shown a ton of speed at the track like Bristol Motor Speedway over the years. Even in years where a driver, like a guy like Eric Jones has kind of struggled in that 20 car, he still seems to be very, very fast. In 2019, you have to remember, before he lost the race, before Matty D and Denny Hamlin's incident happened, Eric Jones looked like he had the best car. And not to mention, in 2017, Eric Jones in a 77 also ran really, really well. I think that Christopher Bell, with a track that races kind of similar to that, I think that Christopher Bell is going to win and clutch it up, and I think Christopher Bell is going to advance into round of 12, and I think that he is going to win the race at Bristol in 2022. And now let's jump into the round of 12, and there's also been some changes for the round of 12 as well. So in the round of 12, it will be kicked off with Texas Motor Speedway, followed by Talladega Super Speedway, and then the Charlotte Roval will be the races of the round of 12. Let's jump into Texas Motor Speedway. I think that Texas Motor Speedway is going to go to this driver. He's won here a couple times in the past, won this race in 2013, and also won the last time he ran the Texas race in the fall, not to mention moving Texas in the September months as well. I think that Texas is going to go to Kyle Busch. Now, a lot of people are probably thinking, why did I not pick him for Bristol, and why did I pick him for Texas Motor Speedway? So I think Kyle Busch is very, very underrated historically at a track like Texas Motor Speedway. I don't think he needs to win Bristol to show that he's got the capabilities and the potential to win there. I think that Kyle Busch is going to pick up a very clutch win and pick up his 3rd win, his 1st win since all the way back at Nashville. I think Kyle Busch gets his 3rd win of the 2022 season at Texas. Right after Texas, we're going to Talladega Super Speedway. And I am actually going to go a little bold with this one in regards to my driver who I'm picking for this one. This race, anybody could win, including drivers that are not in the playoffs or drivers that are already eliminated. Now, this driver I'm picking is already going to be eliminated. I think in 2022, he is going to make the NASCAR Cup Series Plus, especially with this team showing a lot of speed. Not to mention, this team has been very, very fast on super speedways. I know this is going to be a little bit bold, and some people are going to totally disagree with me, and that's fine. That's your choice. But I think that at Talladega Super Speedway, I think that 2311 Racing is finally going to win, and I think that Bubba Wallace, yes, you heard that right, I think that Bubba Wallace is going to win the Cup Series race at Talladega Super Speedway. Bubba Wallace has been really, really good at tracks like Talladega Superspeedway in the past. He's been very good in these races. This has been where 2311 has shown their bread and butter. They just have had a lot of bad luck, but the last time we ran a Superspeedway, they finished second. And I think that in 2022, they're going to have a lot of good runs on Superspeedways. They're going to be more consistent. I think Bubba Wallace, like I said, will get eliminated in the round of 16, but I think that Bubba Wallace is going to break through and get that win and finally win the first Cup Series race at Talladega in 2022. I think Bubba Wallace gets it done at Talladega. Right after Talladega, we'll be at the Charlotte Roval. Now, this pick should be very, very simple for every single one of you. I think that Talladega Superspeedway in 2022, I believe it's going to go to Chase Elliott once again. Chase Elliott's been the king of the Charlotte Roval. He's won here quite a few times historically in the past. And I think once again in 2022, he's going to show his aim. Hendrick is also, not to mention, been really, really good at this track. And I think in 2022, I think that Chase Elliott is going to get it done. He's going to also be able to advance to the round of 8 immediately. He's probably at this point going to have enough points to make it to the round of 8 regardless. But I think Chase Elliott is going to get his fourth and final win of the 2022 season. You heard that right. This is going to be Chase Elliott's final Cup Series win in 2022, and this will be his fourth win of the season going into the Charlotte Roval. Now jumping into the round of 8, you have Las Vegas, Homestead Miami Speedway in Martinsville. Changes there. Vegas moves from the round of 12 opener all the way up to the round of 8 opener in middle of October. And Homestead moves back into place where it should be after being in the early portion of the year, being the second race of the season. Now let's jump in there, and of course Martinsville remains the same, and Phoenix remains as a championship race once again as well. So now let's jump into Las Vegas. Now Las Vegas, I think, is going to be another driver that's going to go full. Now this driver at this point will not have won a race, and over the last 5 or 6 years, he seems to always get one annual win. In 2020, with Chip Ganassi Racing, this guy was able to win in his hometown, but unfortunately, no fans were able to be allowed to attend this race. That is going to be not the case this time. I think that Kurt Busch is going to win the 2022 race here at Las Vegas, and unlike last time, I think fans are going to be allowed at this time at Las Vegas, and I think Kurt Busch in front of a hometown crowd will get it done, and I think Kurt Busch will get a second win at Las Vegas in the last 3 years, and I think Kurt Busch for 2311 is finally going to get his first and only win in 2022. I think Kurt Busch gets it done with 2311 at the track. I think he's going to get it done at Las Vegas. And then right after Las Vegas, like I said, we're headed to Homestead Miami Speedway on the 1.5-mile track. And I think Homestead Miami Speedway is going to go to a driver, like I said, who's been extremely dominant up to this point in 2022. I think that Homestead is going to go to Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson and Homestead, it seems like there's a lot of bad luck, just like Darlington. But I think in 2022, he's not going to have the bad luck like he's had the last couple of years. And I think that Kyle Larson going at that track, he is going to win the Cup Series race at Homestead Miami Speedway. I think he gets it done at Homestead. And then the final race of the round of 8 will be held at Martinsville Speedway. And I think that this pick should be no surprise to anybody. I'm going to pick Martin Truex Jr. to sweep both races at Martinsville Speedway. Like I said, Martin Truex Jr. has overall been one of the best when it comes to a racetrack like Martinsville Speedway. He has shown a lot of speed, and I think that Martin Truex Jr. will get it done at Martinsville, and he will lock his way into the championship 4. And then after Martinsville, we are going to be headed to Phoenix Raceway to decide who wins the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. Now, there are quite a few drivers that I've thought about who could potentially be in the running to win that race, and all the drivers in the Final 4, I'm not telling you who I think will be in the Final 4 up to this point, but I think that the driver that will make it to the championship is going to get it done. This guy is going to get it done this time around, and I think that this driver will not only win the race, but will win the championship. I think that Kyle Larson, after putting together a very strong season, I think that Kyle Larson is going to win the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series Championship, and I think that we are going to see him win the Cup Series race at Phoenix. In 2021 in the spring race, Kyle Larson had probably one of the fastest, if not the fastest cars in the event, but sped a couple times on pit road. But I think in 2022, I think Kyle Larson not only wins a race at Phoenix Speedway, but he is going to win the 2022 NASCAR Cup Series Championship as well. Now let's jump into the drivers who I did not pick to win in 2022. Tell you why I do not think those drivers are going to win. First one, Austin Dillon in the 3. I think Austin Dillon is going to have a little bit better than season. He could make the playoffs in 2022, but that 3 team is not showing winning speed like his teammate Tyler Reddick has. So I think that Austin Dillon fails to win. Both of the Trackhouse cars, that being Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez. I could be very surprised to see one of those guys win, but honestly, I think that Trackhouse is still going to be building up their team just a little bit going into 2022. I think Ross is more likely to win than Daniel Suarez is. No offense to Suarez, but I think that Ross Chastain overall is a little bit better of a driver than Daniel Suarez currently at the moment. I think that they're going to get close to winning next year, and they're going to be a little bit better than they have been this year. They're not going to have the mechanical gremlins that they've had, but I don't see both those guys winning going into 2022. Next person, Chris Buescher. I think Chris Buescher is going to be consistent. I think Brad is going to help Chris Buescher really become a better driver. But I don't see Chris Buescher winning at all in 2022. I just don't see him overall having enough of the speed and having enough of the grip to overall go out there and win. I don't think Chris Buescher is going to win in 2022. The next one, all the other SHR cars, that being Cole Custer, Eric Almirola, and Chase Briscoe. And it's a little bit bold for one of those guys not to win. Cole Custer first, we'll talk about him. Cole Custer has not been very impressive. I don't see him winning. Chase Briscoe, I think, will be good on the road course, but I think it's going to still take him time to get that first Cup Series victory at a road course. I don't see him winning at any road course like some people think he's going to win. I think that he will fail to win. And then finally, Eric Almirola. I don't think Eric Almirola is going to win the event. I just don't think an event next year. I just think that Eric Almirola is going to have a little bit of, he's going to do better than he did in 2021 despite winning a race. I think in 2022, he isn't going to do much better. I don't see him overall going to victory right there. I'm trying to figure out who else I did not pick to win. Oh, let's go also now to Spire Motorsports, Corey LaJoie. There's no way that team's going to win. I'm sorry. I just don't see Spire Motorsports winning. I think that they're going to improve as an organization, but I don't see it happening. Next, Harrison Burton. We'll talk about him for a second. I don't see Harrison Burton winning. I think Harrison Burton's going to have a little bit of a hit or miss season. I think it'll be about kind of like where Matty D was in 2021 when he drove for the team. I don't see Harrison Burton improving, and I don't see him winning overall there. Next team we'll talk about is GMS Racing. I don't think GMS Racing is going to win at all. I don't think they're going to have the speed, especially since maybe Ty Dillon's going to be the driver. I don't see that team overall winning in 2022. JG Doherty Racing, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. No way I see them winning unless they win a Super Series race. No offense to JG Doherty Racing. I don't see it happening for them. Eric Jones, 43. Might see some improvements from the 43 team, but that does not mean they're going to win. I don't see that team overall scoring a victory. Ricker Racing, this should be no surprise. Not picking them to win a race. I think they'll be a little bit more competitive, but they're not going to be competitive enough to win races overall. God Brothers Racing, they're a part-time organization. I don't see it happening. Final team I'll talk about is Colleague Racing. I don't think Colleague Racing is going to win. I think that they actually could surprisingly pull off a victory, maybe AJ Allmendinger, but I don't see Colleague Racing overall getting a victory in 2022. I know that in 2021 they got a very lucky win, and you never know, AJ Allmendinger could lead this team overall to greatness and overall to a victory, but in my honest and sincere opinion, I just don't see it happening going into the 2022 season. So, anyway, those are my 2022 NASCAR Cup Series winner predictions. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, turn notifications so you're notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the support page as well. Link description below for that and combo your predictions for the 2020 season in the winners predictions. Who do you think will win any of the races? Let me know each of your winners in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time for some more great, awesome NASCAR content on the channel like this. We got some really big products coming on the way, and I cannot wait to show those to you guys going forward. I'm really looking forward to that overall for sure. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.